to Edu Talk, where we explore pressing issues and trends impacting our world today. My name is Ruth Graham Basolom, and I am your host. On today's episode, we will be discussing an intriguing topic: the effects of Japa syndrome. In recent years, Nigeria has witnessed a surge in a phenomenon colloquially known as Japa. Japa term derives from a Nigerian slang, meaning to flee and to escape in search of a better life abroad. And in the house this morning, I have with me the senior special advisor to the Minister of State, Mr. Enejo Paul Odiba, and Mr. Kelechi Victor, lead consultant, VicMart Education. Welcome, sirs.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for having
you.
me.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have you guys in the house.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
you all look awesome.
Thank you.
you.
You too.
Thank you. Hope you slept well.
Yeah.
Yes,
Very well.
very well.
So, Mr. Enejo,
Yeah.
I would like to start with you. What would you say is the reason why people actually japa? Why they leaving the country?
One, the reason for leaving the country basically is the fact that they think there's no better life here in Nigeria in terms of healthcare, education, and every other sector, basically. But then, if you look at it critically, you will discover that the negative aspect of the Japa syndrome is way more than the positive aspect of it, in the sense that you are leaving your own country for who? Basically, I will talk about 5 negative effects of the Japa syndrome. One, brain drain, which is a situation whereby most talented people, including nurses, engineers, doctors, are leaving the country in search of a greener pasture. Leaving your own country for who? Secondly, I'll talk about negative perception about the country. The mass migration from Nigeria to other countries is giving room for negative perception about the country. 3, loss of investment. What I mean by loss of investment, loss of confidence in investors. In a country whereby there is mass migration, which they term as maybe rural to urban migration to them, is bringing room for loss of confidence in foreign investors coming into Nigeria. 4, there are 4 cases of, as in many cases of error in Nigeria and death as a result of competency in the area of the healthcare sectors. Reason being that most of our doctors are leaving the country for who is what I don't know. But if you ask me, I will tell you without no fear of any contradiction that most people who flee the country look at them as lazy set of people.
Wow.
Well, I don't agree to that.
Okay.
I actually want to throw a question.
Okay.
You mentioned a few things, and I'm wondering if you say they are actually lazy. I've seen cases where these people work here. First, they're not even well recognized. You go to work, you come back, you're not sure if you're going to reach your home safely. So if you say that all these things you mentioned that are actually the cause for them leaving or the negative cause, do you think that if these things were in place, would they want to leave the country? Or
In
would you even say that these things you're mentioning as negative effects, are they not actually the things that are making them leave the country?
one, let me say this. We have seen cases in the United States where gun is being legalized and people being killed. Killing is everywhere in the world, if I must say. But I won't dispute the fact that there are high cases of insecurity in Nigeria, of which the current government is working so hard in tackling the insecurity. Reason being that the past administration, if you compare the death rate and now, the issue of insurgency in the East is dropping gradually,
I wouldn't
statistically, basically.
I wouldn't really agree with you, but then if you say so, because recently I had the personal case, my in-law was kidnapped. And it's very, very insane that someone sits somewhere and say, oh, I can kidnap this person for a particular ransom, and then he makes a demand of you, not even knowing if you're able to feed. So I think if you're saying these are the reasons why or the negative impact, I would say they actually, if the government, if I believe if the government actually work better, we won't have people leaving the country. Because if you mention that is because they think is a better perceived life, or who are they leaving the country for? If I am in a country of mine who provides everything I need, why would I be leaving? Because first, if I'm leaving the country, it means I have a lot of things to start up with. I have to meet people that I've never met before, the language barrier and all of those stuff. So, Mr. Kilichi, what would you say is the reason for people leaving the country, sir?
Well, I think first of all, I think Mr. John, I think you need to tender an apology to those who have genuinely gone to find greener pasture outside the shores of this country. So for you to say they are lazy, I think is very
Yeah.
sensitive of you to have
Oh,
mentioned that.
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
okay.
But then I don't know. I tend not to want to use the word Japa because it's now becoming a slant where everybody who hears Japa sees it from the negative perspective. I'm the lead
Okay.
consultant to VicMart Education, and yes, over time we have done placement of students who want to study abroad. Genuinely, these are genuine students.
Okay.
And the word Japa, the moment you're in an office and then somebody say, "Oh, I'm going to study abroad," you say, "Oh, you want to Japa?" So I feel it's the word Japa doesn't really work well for me. So I don't even want to talk about that.
Okay.
But I know that a lot of Nigerians, a lot of youth have genuinely gone to find greener pastures outside the shores of this country.
Okay.
Some of them has genuinely gone to school
Okay.
to do their masters.
Okay.
And a lot of them are doing excellently very well. I mean, they're projecting the country in a positive light in terms of academic performance. We have some students who are coming out with first class and they're being retained by the university.
Okay.
We have students who are the innovations over there. It's high. So I mean, we can't say they are lazy people.
Yeah, I don't agree with that
That's a
too.
wrong word to use on them.
Okay, let me throw a light into this. For anybody to relocate to any part of the world,
Okay.
you need nothing less than 10 million, basically.
So I want to understand something.
Yeah.
If I am comfortable in a place, why would I want to leave?
That's correct. I mean,
No.
If I am lazy, because based on what you said, they are lazy.
Understanding.
I understand. I'm just trying to explain or understand better. If you call me a lazy person, I understand that when you live abroad, you have to work overtime to even make a living. So if you think I am lazy,
then you are a
will
second
I
class
be able
citizen.
to? Would I be able to actually survive in that country?
Okay, now let me put it to you this way. To settle in any part of the world, you need nothing less than 10 million. I've seen cases of people selling their houses, cars to migrate. And then where you are going to, you are not sure of your survival. And then
But at least you're sure of your security.
Yeah, in the same vein, I've seen people in this country who started business with 200,000 and today they have branches. I've seen where people started business without no capital. You post this thing for sale. Maybe you have a link or where you can get this thing from to sell. And somebody will key in and say most of every Nigeria, it's called networking.
Okay,
Once you are
sir.
interested, some people pay ahead, then you get this good, you give to them. So when I term it as laziness, why would I want to sell my car, sell everything I have to Japa, to
well,
where
have you
I
ever
am not sure?
Have you ever heard the word when somebody say, "Let Nigeria not happen to you"?
Exactly.
Do you understand?
I
Because
remember in
we have
the-
seen a lot of cases where Nigeria happened to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And nothing happens.
Exactly.
No compensation.
Exactly.
No nothing.
Now, the only thing I can say is the gap between the current government and the past administration.
Okay.
It is the
Please,
same
can we understand
political
better?
party. One, since the assumption of this government in office in a year, the infrastructural development in FCT, 8 years of the past government, there is nothing to show.
Well, FCT is not the only
Okay.
it's not the only state we have in Nigeria.
I'm just saying.
We have other states in Nigeria
Yeah,
too.
okay, I should start telling you series of federal projects.
We don't want to make
that
this
is ongoing.
political so that we don't keep reminding you of what's going on. But the most important thing we're trying to say here is that people, Nigerian youths, Nigerians have genuinely traveled, and to be sincere, they have also exercised their fundamental human rights by
We just
movement.
happened recently.
Do you understand? Moving from one place to the other is a right. You can't compel me to
Exactly.
remain
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But
Do
the
you
thing is
understand?
this: do you agree with me that in the UK,
Okay, Mr.
the
Enejo.
British indigenes, they don't go to school as much as we Nigerians flee in
But
search of
that's why we
education?
are taking over.
Okay,
That's
Mr.
why we're taking
Enejo.
over the
If you say
space.
that, I want to ask you a very funny question. Do you have anybody studying abroad?
A whole lot of people.
So why do you let your people go out to try and study if you actually feel that you can have a sound education in the country?
There are sound education in the
So
country.
why do you let your people go and study out?
One, British is our colonist to start with.
Okay.
They colonize us. And
Okay.
in terms of education, the British is not better than us. The only thing I can say is basic amenities in terms of practical.
Okay, so do I call your people lazy?
The country, as in terms of, like, okay, let me give you an example. When I was in the university, I was studying geology and mining. And then in my year 2, we went for excursion or field, what is it called, field trip. And then what we're doing then is Geo 101, I guess, exploration processes. Then we went underground, and in the course of the field, they were telling us how this equipment work.
Okay.
Without seeing it practically, the machine is grounded, it's not working, but they were telling us how it works. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. The only advantage in the UK is, as they are telling you, you are seeing it practically.
I don't think that's the only advantage because there's so many advantages. So many. I mean,
In most
yeah,
of the universities in UK, I have an elder brother who is a lecturer with the University of Loughborough
In the UK.
Yeah. And
Assuming
Loughborough
he
is one of the
studied,
leading universities in terms of construction management.
so assuming he studied here, would he actually have had
He
that
did his first
opportunity?
degree in ABU.
Did he get a job afterwards?
Yeah, he chose not to. Then, as at 1990, federal government work is like, he chose not to. So that's what
Okay.
I'm saying is about choice. He has been in the UK for over 20 years.
Okay.
yeah. So I like the word you just said now that
And then I can
it's
put
about
it to
choice.
you that being in the UK, in most cases, one of the disadvantages, let me tell you the honest truth, be you in a public service or whichever sector, you can be in UK for 20 years.
Okay.
But returning back, you can never meet your mate where you left them. And I can tell you categorically, without no fear of any contradiction, that the rich, once their students school there, they will bring them back.
Okay.
Because most of the achievements you can achieve in Nigeria, you cannot pay
Okay.
taxes, you overwork yourself, and then the only thing is security of or free education, all these things. So
I beg to differ because I was I schooled here in Nigeria. I'm a Josite.
Okay.
And you know, during the time when we're in school, not long ago, so I'm not that old, or you know. So during when we're in school, the system of which we heard about the public school is different from how we met it, and it's different from how it is now.
Yeah.
I can bet you for sure that strike is more like a students are looking out for strike. Even lecturers are looking out for something to happen so that there will be strike, you know. But outside the shores of this country, you can't see that. Now, we talked about people migrating, the word Japa. You know, we also have our doctors. We have nurses
Yeah.
who, if you compare what they do here, how much they earn, and how much they earn outside this country. I mean, somebody who's collecting about 2,000 or 3,000 pounds, if you convert that money, is about 6 million.
Yeah.
And here you are struggling with 150,000.
Of which you see by the end of the month, you might still not even get your salary.
Of course. And you're struggling with 150,000 here. And then, so the question now is,
I can say
why
it
do you
without
now
no fear of
allow
any
why do you
contradiction
now allow
that since
people
Buhari
to
assumed office till date, there's no delay in salary payment for civil
you
servants.
cannot say that because how about states? You're talking about federal. How about states? I mean, these people that are also living, do they have a
But the state
preferred?
governor have autonomy.
Do they have a preferred age where you say this is the time to go? No, they don't.
But are you aware of the fact that the autonomy that state government and federal government does not have?
Okay.
So the only thing I know is that at the federal level, FAC 26, 27, they must have disbursed money to the state. So it's
Okay.
left for the state government or the state governor to pay its worker. But I can tell you in all confidence that the federal government disbursed money as at when due.
So I think this is not about salary.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
is about
It's much
the
more
the,
than that.
the
It's just an
genuinity
aspect. Yeah.
of Nigerians who are seeking
A better
better
life.
life
Yeah.
outside this country. Everybody has a right
Of
to seek
course.
for better life, whether it's in Ghana, if you feel Ghana is better for you, if you feel the US is better for you, wherever it is, genuinely.
But
People are getting married,
I've seen cases
you
of
know.
people traveling abroad after he has been repatriated back without nothing. I know of a young boy who just
There are
opened a
people that
phone
stay
shop
in the
that is
country
doing
that
well
have the
now.
same faith.
Yeah, but there's
So
still some people who are here. But now, I want to state this for a fact. Now, for some doctors, those who are not going through the academic route,
yeah.
I can tell you for sure that they are going out with all sincerity of their heart to look for a better life.
Yeah.
And for most of them who have done this, they are doing very well. I know some of them who are doing excellently very well. And some of them, it's not like they are just going out to find better security, better light, better life, better amenities. Because even in this country, even with your money, Nigeria can say happen to you. And when it happens to you, nothing will happen.
But the thing is this,
You go to some local government, you go to some places, you see Nigerian being kidnapped. Now, kidnapping is the order of the day.
Exactly.
It's one of the best hustling. In fact,
Because
kidnapping is now more than
it feels like
the
someone sits in their
so-called
corner and like, okay,
internet, whatever they're doing.
it's how they even take time, because you can tell when they actually strike. You can tell that this person sat down, had a very good plan, because you don't just wake up and go into someone's house or space and kidnap them.
At all.
So it means that it's something that they've actually pre-planned. And of course, I wouldn't want to blame them too much because of what's going on in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
People are struggling to feed.
now, to tackle insecurity, you must tackle poverty.
Okay, sir.
When I grew up to know about local government funding, local government chairman doing projects. But as we speak today, they've given local government autonomy.
Okay.
So one, there is money at the federal level. Money does not get to the grassroots. And that is where votes are coming in for. Upon 1 year in assuming office, president has given autonomy to the local government, which means that every month now, once it's being implemented, that disbursement, if your local government is entitled to 184 million, by the end of every month, you get it directly. You do project at the rural level. So these are things that will tackle all this insecurity. This
Okay,
government
sir.
is just 1 year in office, and you don't
Okay.
expect them to do magic.
No, we are not saying that.
Our
We are
GDP,
just trying to find out what's going on.
I sincerely don't want us to go into
Yeah.
what this government have done, so we don't get this twisted, because 1 year is enough. 1 year is enough to know if a child is going to crawl or not.
no, the country is damaged.
Yeah. So if you talk about being damaged, I mean, who damaged it? It's the same party. So I don't want us to go into that.
Yeah.
I'm just
But
saying.
there are people that are doing well in Nigeria in every sector, even
We
in the
agree,
health
Mr.
sector,
Enejo.
whatever
We agree.
sector.
Of
We
course, I
agree.
agree.
Are you aware there are people in Nigeria working and earning in hard currency?
Yes, we
So
agree.
how are they doing it?
Who is paying them the hard currency?
There are
The same
organizations that are
foreigners.
paying hard currency.
I don't think so.
There are NGOs. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, these are
Foreign
foreign
NGOs, you mean?
NGOs.
Yeah, foreign
but not
NGOs.
local.
They're not
No
Nigerians.
local organization will pay you in foreign currency.
Yeah, no, I know, but I said there are people who work and earn dollars in the same Nigeria.
Okay.
However, I like to state for a fact that in 2022, between 2021 and 2022, for us at Vicmat Education, we were able to, do a lot of placement.
Okay.
And a lot of students traveled through the study route.
Okay.
And these are actually genuine
Reasons.
I mean, they genuinely, and one of the best way to relocate is to look for a program, so that even when you equip yourself academically, you can fit into any sector in that country. And I can tell you that most of my students, they are doing very well.
That's good to know.
Some of them even got married.
Wow.
Some of them, they are working and they're doing very well.
That's good to know.
So I can't say that living the shores or relocating outside this country is a crime or is bad.
Okay, Mr.
Because if you have a better life, if you have better educational system, if you have student grants, because what I hear is just stories upon stories. They say we want to give loan to students. I mean, if it's grant, it's even better. If you have some certain things that are available for these people, you see a lot of, go to Southeast, go to the North Central, you see young people with innovation. There was one time we had a young boy try to manufacture a helicopter or something.
Yeah, I think I saw that
We
on
only saw it
internet too.
on news, and that's all. And that's all.
That's true.
You know, there's even one Nigerian youth we had one time. In fact, we heard that the German government or a company in Germany came to pick the boy.
From the
You can
country.
imagine that asset.
Yeah.
They picked him from Nigeria and took him over to their company.
And nothing. The government didn't do anything.
I mean, so that's the point.
But during Jonathan
Okay.
regime, the young boy who flew from Benin to Abuja was given scholarship in the same country. As I speak, he's out of the country.
one out of how many?
No. There are year in, year out, the government issues scholarship. Except you are not involved, there is scholarship. Year in, year out, every government issues scholarship to students.
Well, like I said, we really don't want to dive into what the government are doing, because if you talk about government being doing year in, year out scholarship, I mean, it's selective. It's selective.
Who?
Because we see grassroots, we see people who really need the scholarships,
okay,
and they are not giving scholarship to somebody whose father is a director.
Wait, okay, now at Vic Math Education, have you written officially to the scholarship board seeking scholarship for one or two of your students and you've been denied? So you can't sit at the comfort of your office.
We have done that to different agencies, and they have said categorically that they work directly with universities, so they don't work with third party.
Okay.
We have written to them and they say, we are working directly with this university. We have a partnership with this university, this country. That's all. What do we do?
So,
Mr.
Mr.
I have a
Kelechi,
classmate, a secondary school classmate, who was given scholarship and went to Germany to school. From there, he went to University of Sixers in UK and did his master's.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
Pharmacy.
Enijo.
Yeah.
Mr. Kelechi, I would want to ask you this. What class of Nigerians embark on this Japa syndrome? What class of people are advised to Japa? Or is there a particular class that actually are qualified for this?
Okay, so like I keep saying, I really don't want to use the word Japa,
Okay.
because it doesn't speak well.
Okay, should I say
the
what
slangs
class should
of
relocate?
Yeah. So relocation are relative.
Okay.
So when a student is going to school, right, it's possible he's not relocating, it's genuinely going to school. So if you want to put the class of those who are relocating, then you're now looking at the doctors, the nurses, those who are seeking for job. But of course, if you're seeking for a job outside this country, you're not going to be in Nigeria and you're working there. So you have to move over. Some of them,
Okay.
yeah, so some of them live with their family, some get married and they relocate. But I can tell you for sure that not below 30, 20, 27 thereabouts and above are those, because we have medical doctors who are 27, 28, 29, 30. We have nurses. But you see those ones who are 15 to 20, they're under their parents' care. So those ones are genuinely going to school.
Okay.
Even though their parents are also using that as a means for them to get a better life and to get global recognized certificates. But those ones are genuinely going to school.
Okay.
Even those ones who are going to masters, they're also genuinely going to school. Some are just using that as a route to relocate to their family.
Okay.
Yeah. So the age is, there's no particular age, more especially for doctors, nurses, those who are married, those who want to. So I can peg it at from 25 and above.
So if I would ask, what do you think the government would do to help people? But because if I actually want to relocate, like you said, I have the liberty to move to another country. So is there anything wrong with me reaching out to my government or people to ask them for help?
Ask them for help to relocate?
No. Like I've relocated. And because I am a citizen of Nigeria, would it be wrong if my government actually help?
No, I mean, the moment you are outside the shores of this country, you are regarded as a foreigner in that country, and the ambassador or the embassy in that country is responsible for you. I mean, if there's anything that goes wrong or you need help, of course, you are a citizen of Nigeria. So the embassy or the ambassador should be available to help you at all time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've seen cases where you see people living abroad come online to rant, okay, this is going on and our government isn't doing something to help us and stuff. Like the Ukraine and the what was this one? Ukraine and Russia. We had a lot of Nigerians complain that okay, Nigerians didn't really do anything to help. The government didn't do anything to help.
Yeah, I think I can speak a little bit on that. I know for sure that when you see something on social media,
Yeah.
until until the government is aware, probably officially,
Yeah.
that so thing is happening, then they can go in. I've seen cases where the Nigerian government have actually gone to help our Nigerian students. I think there's one that happened in, is it Sudan or something, where they're having crisis.
Yeah.
There was a plane to repatriate Nigerians,
Okay.
to come back home. But then don't forget that if you commit crime in another man's country and then you are now seeking for the help of the government, I'm not sure they want to. The law of that country will have to take its course. So you can't commit crime and then you're calling on your government to come and help you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would want to actually ask another question, Mr. Kilic. Is the economy really okay over there, or we just feel like the grass is greener on the other side?
Yes, so there are advantages and there are disadvantages.
Exactly.
So yes, it looks, the word, this general word, they say it looks greener from the outside. Sometimes yes, it's greener, and sometimes, until when you check, you now see that it's not really green.
Okay, you have to
it
water
looks
it.
it looks like green.
Yeah, you have to water it.
Yeah, so there's some students who actually go there with the wrong
Mindset.
mindsets.
Not just students.
And there are some
Majority
other
of people.
there are also Nigerian youth that
Because their
go
work is not
with
pensionable.
with the wrong mindset to say, if you go there you start making money. And then the truth
Immediately.
about it is that the moment your child or your brother or your sister just, in fact, they have not even landed the country where they are going to, they have
They've
started
been
sending you
asking,
account
I
number.
need.
They started sending you account number that so thing has finished, or they need to do so thing and all that. So it looks greener from the outside, but then I tell a lot of people that wants to leave the country, you need to get yourself prepared, right?
Okay.
One, you need to have a friend or a brother or somebody who is able to guide you properly the moment you arrive, so that you're not taken off, or you're not taken unaware, because the currency they use there is different from what we use here. For example, if you go, the US exchange rate now is about 1,600 thereabouts.
Okay.
And then you feel like you have 10 million. 10 million, if you convert it to USD, it's just small money that you have.
7,000.
And so when you enter there, you feel like you are already, 10 million here in Nigeria, you're a big boy, But then
Yeah.
the moment you get over there, you just realize that it's small. So you have to prepare yourself. You have to know how to spend. Most times when I travel, funny as it may be, I usually have my phone and I have calculator. So when I travel, if I want to buy anything, if I want to buy burger, and they say burger, chicken, and some other things like that,
Yeah.
and he tell me how much, and you say it's let's say £50, I say, okay, hold on, and I just take my phone, I just feel like I'm pressing something, and I calculate. The moment I just realize that what I'm buying is about 70, 80,000 just to have a meal, I would just ask you, can I have only burger? I mean,
If possible, something lesser.
something lesser. Do you understand? So
Yes.
it looks green outside, but then you have to prepare yourself to
Okay.
understand the do's and don'ts in those countries.
Because I think I remember a friend who is actually out in the UK. We were having a conversation, and he mentioned how much he was paying per session. I was, well, wowed. I think he mentioned he was paying with everything he did because he was doing his PhD. It was over 19 million. So it was quite like, I was very shocked. I calculated how much that would be in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if I have that amount of money in Nigeria, would
What
I
can
really,
achieve?
really pay for just my tuition, just per semester? It was quite huge. So I'm asking, for people who travel out, or for someone who wants to travel out, what do you think I should prepare myself with? What are the things I should be so much aware of? What's the preparation? What do I need?
Okay, so first you need to understand the country you want to go to, right? You can't just jump on the plane and you're just traveling.
Okay.
You need to know where you're going to.
Okay.
You need to know if you're able to fit into the community there.
Okay.
You need to know if the community you're going to are friendly. So that's why, if before you decide on where to go, you now begin to check on your phone or your internet to check who do I have there? There are some people that actually just do blind journeying, and
Okay.
that's those ones are the ones you call them that are so desperate to leave. So they just see online and they say, "Oh, this country is making so much money," and they just somehow get visa and they just go there. And when they get there, they are just in an island. There's nobody, you know. And how they so some of them, however, they tend to survive somehow, and some they get. I have seen somebody who traveled and after 6 months, he say he cannot stay there. He's frustrated and then come back to Nigeria. So one of the things you need to have at the back of your mind is understand the country you're going to. Do a research.
Okay.
Do a research. And then if you're a skilled worker, when I mean skilled worker, if you're talented in one or two things, you also have to find out if that country is
Suitable
need
for
need
burden.
I mean they need your talent, they need what you want to do. I know that a lot of people want to go to Spain, to the Europe country because of the sports. So if you're not a good footballer or you don't have talent in football, if you go there, you just be floating. You probably will spend all the money you came with,
Yeah.
and then you're looking for more money, right? So those I think that's the first key thing you need to do. First of all, identify where you want to go to, find out if your talent fits where you're going to, and then research on that place. You might have a brother or friend or a friend or maybe one of your friend on Instagram or Facebook lives there. You can also contact the person to know how that environment looks like. They can be able to tell you more about the environment. For example, if you're coming in from Lagos to Abuja, I
Okay.
can tell you more about the environment. I can tell you, okay, within this location, you can have so and so.
Yeah.
Within this location is residential.
Okay.
I have a better knowledge about the place. So when you're coming, you're even more prepared.
That's true.
Yeah.
In the light of what he has said, there is a say that timing is part of productivity. In the same vein, we have seen people who travel out of the country in the course of educational pursuits, and they ended up spending 10 years or above to acquire degree of 4 years
Okay.
due to financial constraint. One, before you embark on the journey to UK for a university that will take you 4 years or three actually, then you will now end up spending 10 years. Regardless of the fact that there's strike in Nigeria, your mate who started school here must have finished and will be in a level 10 civil servant.
No, but I don't think that information is correct. So
No, I've seen cases of.
when you want, I don't think that's correct.
No, I've seen cases. People
School
even
abroad,
change
if it's 3
university.
years, it's 3 years. If it's 4 years, it's 4 years.
I said due to financial constraint. I've seen people who change university. I know of somebody who traveled out of the country initially. He left for the University of Leicester, but he ended up finishing from the University of Plymouth.
Okay, Mr.
You
Enedo.
understand?
Thank you so much. I would want to ask, what is the government doing to reduce the rate of people traveling out to seek a better life? Because while we were talking, you mentioned a lot of causes that or negative effects of traveling out. So, what is the government doing to help us with this situation?
Okay, one, before the assumption of office, our foreign reserve was at 32, $320 billion. But as we speak today, it's about $320.7 billion. And the government is targeting our GDP $1 trillion by the end of this administration in
Okay.
2030. One, the government created the steel ministry, which is
Okay.
where I work as a special assistant and media aide to the minister.
Okay.
There is no sector, there is no government in the world that can survive without steel. It's a critical component in every nation economy. Go to China, go to India. You see, if Ajaokuta steel is working today, I can tell you that they will create more than 500 jobs because there are 44 production units.
They would or they've been able to
They are
create.
working on it. One of the reasons why Ajaokuta has not been working is that there is no political will. For the president to create the Ministry of Steel, he's working towards that direction. And a lot of discussion is going with foreign investors. The same company who built the Ajaokuta company, the Russians, they've engaged conversation with my ministry. And in terms of employment, grants, there is one ongoing, we'll call it Nano. About 600 people, 600,000 people have benefited from it, and another 400,000 are yet to. There is another one, the grant of 50,000 that was disbursed, which in my ministry alone, about 4,200 people. The slot was given directly to my minister, and it was shared among 200 from each of the 21 local governments. So now, if a government is up and doing to this direction, this government is just 1 year in office. By the end of the first tenure, the whole thing will turn around for good. In the sense that most times, if you want to build a structure, like before this place, it may not be in this form. And if you want to put it in order, you first of all bring everything down. In the process of that shape, you will not like it. But at the end of it, if a proper work is being done and you come back, you appreciate it. That's exactly what we are going through currently. The government is working. The government have target.
Okay,
The
thank you.
I
government is
think, I
focused.
think, I think, I think, I think the government is not doing yet enough.
Yes, because
But
You
they are
know,
doing.
in terms of, I also think he should mention. He didn't mention most of the key factors. Why do people leave this country?
exactly
Why do
because
doctors leave this country?
I believe
Minimum wage, they're still pegging at 70,000. You know, and insecurity.
There is insecurity everywhere
You
in the
know,
world. We have seen
no,
cases of people being killed in America.
we are
no,
not
you can't use
disputing
that to
that
compare.
fact.
You can't
So-
use
But
that
I
to
should
compare
be able
Nigeria.
to stay comfortable in my own
Yes.
country. I
Yes.
should not be looking for a better life
So,
outside
Mr.
my
Victor, are you
home.
telling
my
me
own
you are not
home.
living comfortable in your country?
You cannot
Don't
sleep
use
and
me.
not
Don't
know
ask
what's going
me.
to happen
Don't
next.
ask me if I'm living
Yeah,
comfortably.
so-
Because some people have diverse means to provide their own personal security.
Okay, now.
You know?
Now, are you aware that this local government autonomy will do a whole lot?
We keep mentioning local government autonomy.
Yes,
It
now
has
because
nothing
one
to
of the
do-
problems,
it
if
has
you want
nothing
to,
to do
if
with
you want to tackle insecurity, you tackle poverty. Now,
is it by sharing rice every day that's
it's not
tackling
about
Because
poverty?
if I'm
rice
going
is
to
the
eat
least thing this
rice,
government has done.
I
Rice
also
is the
believe
least
I
thing.
also believe, Mr. Enejo, if the government invests more in education, the rate at which the youth
Are
migrate.
you aware that there is
I am saying
which government?
one of my strong points would be that you need to revisit the ramification of health workers. You need to make life very comfortable, regardless whether it's Abuja, any part of this country. There is no state that is better than any other state. Every state is unique in their own way.
Yes.
You know, and then invest more in health and in education.
The
I
okay,
actually mentioned health in particular because recent times, I think like a month ago, we had this on social media of a building collapsing and children being dead. It was because if those structures are properly maintained, you should be able to tell when there's a crack in you. Because I actually saw the building. So I believe that if the government actually invests more in education, if they actually take out time to maintain these buildings, we won't be losing children.
but the
I went-
school in
I-
question is not a government-owned school.
So it's actually an education. So even if it's an individual, why can't the government help?
Now the point is there.
Okay, wow.
I went to while I was in high school. I went to public school, right? I didn't go to private school. As at the time while I was in high school, a lot of government schools we had some of my classmates, their parents were PAMSEC directors.
Former head of service of
I
the
mean,
federation.
it's
the daughter
it's-
was in my class in the
so we
university.
don't at that time we don't
Okay.
say
Yalele Ahmed.
you're going to secondary school and not and public school. Now private school have taken over, including at the university level.
Because I studied in a government university. People who I went to school, funny how I can tell from my set and backward, if up on the fact today,
the gap
if
is
you
too
go
much.
to a course of 4 years, I did 6 years. Because for 1 year, you are going to experience a strike that you already have. Your people that pass through that have already told you to experience to actually prepare
Yeah,
your mind.
Yeah.
So I'm actually hammering on that because most of the times people are actually leaving the country because they want to go and have a better education. So I'm hammering on the education because if there's a better structure, if we have a better maintenance for our education and system or sector, we won't be having to go through the stress of traveling because honestly,
I can tell you
we
for
are
sure.
actually investing in this. So why can't we actually invest this amount of money we are investing in the foreign land in our own country?
I can tell you for sure that most of the excess expenditure by the government, if they invest that into our health sector, into the educational sector, I can bet you that a lot is going to happen.
Okay.
A lot is going to happen.
Okay. Now, are you aware that UK survived based on task? and high school fees that we Nigerians go there to pay.
We are having
It's not about
countries.
UK
We are
here.
having
We're
companies that
talking
are folding
about
up in Nigeria because of the tax.
Falling off because of the tax. Okay, now we are talking about fuel subsidy. No country in Africa sell fuel less than $1. And how much is $1 today? How much is fuel in Ghana?
But if I'm paying that much money, or the thing is, I had a discussion with someone a few days ago. We were talking if I'm paying money for tax. If for example I have a store, and you come and tax me for so and so, if I am seeing what I'm paying money for, I believe I would want to pay more because I'm seeing the dividends of my money.
Nigerians are very patient. I can tell you, if you tell
Because
them pay
if
this tax and then it's working,
exactly,
Nigerians will do it.
exactly,
This NEPA, this
I wanted
lights
to mention that too.
ADC tariff that was increased, Nigerians are still paying.
We are paying
You
because
know,
if
sir, what,
if
as
I
long as
see
there's
lights, I
light,
would
and then
pay
people are saying
because I
that
know what
you
I'm paying
charge
for.
me and I
But
don't have
then
light.
I've seen people who earn $1,000 in the United States, and at the end of the month, they can't save $200.
But
So,
whatever they pay,
what's
whatever
the
their
point?
money goes to,
And
they
their
see
work
they
is
see
not
it.
pensionable. So, what's the point of overworking yourself? You earn $2,000 at the end of the day, you spend 1,008.
That is where I believe Nigerians should work so that we don't have to go out and pay that much.
No, going out is a thing of choice and mindset.
But
Some
the
people are
major,
being
but if you
brainwashed.
see them, it's not even about the brainwash. The major reason is because poverty, lack of employment. Our youths are leaving the country every day.
Okay, now, will you prefer to go and watch dead body in the mortuary
If
and
I have
call
a
it
better
employment?
opportunity in my country, I will
These
not
are
go.
things. Some people
So-
do a
so-
lot of things. Some commit crime. The thing is, in Nigeria, we like immediate gratification. That is nothing but the truth. I've seen where a boy serve Oga for 10 years, an Igbo man who learned trading, and he's being settled with a million five, 1.5 million. And at the end of the day, you will see that person grow to become a millionaire. So it's about our immediate quest for immediate. That is why people go into a lot of crime, all this Yahoo, Yahoo, and all manners of things. Our youth are not patient. They don't want to be productive. I must be sincere with you. When I was in the university, I was doing photography. But most of my mates think I'm a senator. You can't compete with me in terms of what I wear and all those things. But I'm the one working hard to make the money for myself.
Okay, sir. Anyways, thank you so much. It was very nice having you both in the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we hope to do this more often.
Yeah, anytime I'm available. I don't ever hear.
No, I'm available. I'm available. Depends on the time frame and my schedule.
Okay, thank you to our audience. We would love to have your questions. Our caption will actually be displayed on the screen. Our handles and everything. We need your questions, your where you find it difficult, what you need to know about Japa and everything. If you want to share more light, we would be glad to have those too. Thank you again. My name is Ruth and I am your host. Thank you for today.